Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts and going over some data. Yeah, let's dive into the Alibaba chart. I have done some kind of, historical drawings over here. I'm not going to delete all of them, but I will delete some of these trend lines that have not really been that useful. This trend line, the white one, not really that useful. This orange one, believe it or not, was useful over here with that bottom, but generally over here, pretty ugly. So I might delete that as well. What do we have here with this trend line? I don't know. I guess that's probably just a little bit arbitrary. So I'm just going to delete everything that I have, which is probably nothing as of right now. All right, and so let's just look at the chart. Let's consider this here. I'm just going to draw a trend line to highlight that we do have higher highs on the daily chart. And then let's look at the RSI. The high over here was around 84.22. And we are currently looking at an RSI of 84.41. So higher highs in the stock price, higher highs, not higher highs, in the RSI. So there's no bearish divergence there, so that's good. And I should note too, Alibaba did close on Friday up at 124.73, being up about 4.3% on the day, and continuing higher in the pre-market, being up about $3 or 2.5% or so. Trading around 27.80, 127.80. And so we might be seeing a gap up. And with this, I just want to see, are there some levels over here to be keeping an eye on? So I might just draw a horizontal ray from the high over here, as well as from the high over there. Those levels are both below us, so maybe they're not so useful. Actually, this one, did act as resistance over here, so that's kind of a good predictor, and maybe that will be acting as support if we get a pullback. So I think it's a little, here, let's see, I'll make this yellow. So yeah, maybe we get a pullback to around, let's see, the high from over here, which was 117.16. So I got that marked exactly. So just lock that into place. And something that kind of stands out to me from over here, we do have some gaps that have not yet been filled. Pretty notably is this one over here. Very clear gap there. So just going to draw a line based on the closing price from November 17th of 2021, which was at a price of 156.06. So I need to just get this to be lined up right there. Okay, lock that into place, make that dashed and a blue line. So that is a level that we might be getting up to. Might see some resistance there, as there were some people accumulating around this range, have not been back to those prices since. So they might be a little bit anxious if it gets up to around 150. Good to keep that in mind. And then there were some other gaps here that I was noticing. So it looks like this is all good to the downside here. But then there is another gap here, I believe, that has not yet been filled. Also, right here around 132. So let's draw, all these gaps that we can see here. This is, let's see, the closing price on January 12th of 2022 was at 132.72. So got that lined up right there. Make that dashed and blue and lock that into place. And then we also have another gap here that was not filled. So just kind of getting all these gaps marked here. This is at 126.56, I believe. Yep, the closing price there. Make that another dashed line and make that blue. So I got all these gaps to the upside. And then we do have this gap here, which is at 120.07, 120.18. That has since been filled. And this gap actually looks like it has been filled, or potentially seeing where we open up at. So let's just look at these gaps moving forward, if any of them have been filled. I'm just going to fast forward to the future. And so that was at 26.56. That gap has been filled. And yeah, so I think maybe some resistance, but then we got these other gaps to the upside around 133. Might see some resistance there around 156, 150. I suspect we'll see some resistance there. And, you know, something else that I can do, maybe I'll just drag this over to here, is that, you know, it's kind of ugly, kind of wonky. But this does look like, you know, maybe there could be a head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder here, head, right shoulder here. And so, you know, we're kind of at that neckline. So maybe we would see a pullback from around where we're at to retest maybe 117 as support, which, you know, was resistance multiple times. So even if we go up to 133 or, you know, 150, I think that we could be seeing a pullback to around 117. So good to have a plan, good to be cautious of that. But, you know, overall, I think this is probably going higher, as if we do look over at the 10-minute time frame, seeing this really nice gap up, hit a high during pre-market of 131.50, which is just below the gap here at 132.72. So yeah, I mean, do keep an eye out for that level, but maybe we see a pullback to like 126.50 or you know, right around that purple line there, which is around, let's say, 124. Maybe find that as support before going higher. And let's also consider the moving averages. I thought they'd be closer to where we're at. But yeah, we are well above all of these moving averages. We got the 21-day, the 50-day, and the 200-day. Also have earnings coming up here on the 20th. So that is going to be on Thursday. Not sure if that's before or after the market opens or closes on Thursday, but there could be some volatility with that. It could be then, you know, squeezing up to fill these gaps, or it could be starting to break down to cool off. This RSI is in the overbought territory, very clearly above 70 at 84.41. Also, we do see that as we have these higher highs get put in, the volume is coming down a little bit. That does suggest a little bit of weakness. And we have also seen the MACD being positive for, you know, multiple, you know, a second hump here. And so maybe we do start to see that roll over a little bit. It does look like kind of the slope of this is cooling off. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that we could be seeing this pulling back to around 117. And I might even put an alert here for myself. I am going to delete these other ones, but I will put one at 118. Because I think that it could be pulling back to that. Just out of curiosity, I don't plan on trading Alibaba. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could have a cool off. And yeah, I guess I will just kind of draw my doodle of how I think this could be playing out. And so I think that especially with earnings coming up, you know, this could be going up, getting rejected from around 133, and then maybe doing something like this. Oh, double top, people are freaking out, and then it goes higher. So that is what I would be looking for with Alibaba. You know, but it doesn't have to pull back like this. So good to be keeping that in mind. And then one thing that I might want to do is just a Fibonacci extension from the lows here to the highs here down to the lows to see where this could be going. And yeah, Fibonacci extension just from the lows over here up to the highs there and then down to the lows. Let's see. The 100% is right around 125. We are above that level now. But let's see if I want to remove these lower ones, because we've clearly gone higher than that. Let's see where the 1618 is. That is, yeah, right around 150. So I think that yeah, we could be seeing this, you know, doing a little bit of a cool off. Yeah, so that's what I think could be happening with Alibaba. Hopefully that's helpful for you, and I am just going to kind of throw this up here because, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot, and have a great day trading.